It's Wednesday, my crew. Hey, Sapphire. Hey, Pheasant SC2. I'm late? Oh, no. Thanks for letting me know. Hey, Rihanna Journey. How's it going, y'all? Sapphire, able to stay for a bit today? Nice. Working on packing stuff up. I'm doing some more moving in a little while. Yeah, that's a lot. Moving house is a lot. So don't mind us, you know. I'm kind of poorly lit today, huh? Let's see if I can fix that a little. Oh boy, too much. There we go. How's it going, everybody? All right, so picking up where we left off yesterday. I said I was going to work on this last night. I didn't do it. I ate dinner and then did nothing and then fell asleep. Trying to break the cycle. I actually woke up early this morning and got to work on time, which is pretty incredible. Trying to break the cycle of staying up too late working and then sleeping in and then having to stay up too late working. All right, so I think we mostly finished swapping in the new bit masks that we're going to use for some of these buffers. I think we swapped them all in. Are we doing the syncing correctly? Probably not. So the cuts will be synced. The hulls will be synced. So the hulls will be synced from the preview back to the settled spans. The cuts. Yeah, I guess that's the same. Hulls and the cuts. And then here we need to put in the seal buffer. That is going to come from somewhere else. That is going to sync from the settled blocks to the preview blocks. And anyway, for anyone new, we're working on an FTL-like game in Godot. We're kind of deep in this map editor thing, and I'm just working on that today. I keep forgetting to do any kind of intro in the first few minutes. Yay, sleep. Yeah, you're tired and fighting a headache. Sounds like the cure to both of those things is sleep. Hey, Mr. Magoo, how's it going? Nanigans, what's up? You got confused for a second? YouTube tried to promote my live stream from a couple days ago that you missed rather than this one. Yeah, it's funny how that works. Funny how that works. Hey, still needs work. How's it going? It's been a minute. Oh, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you for beaming back aboard the starship here. How are you doing? How's your year been so far? How are we doing today? We're all right. I'm just crunching through some boring refactoring stuff. I got some live music show I'm going to tonight. That's gonna be fun. I don't usually do that, but an artist I really like is coming through the city, so I'm gonna go to that. All right, so what are we doing here? We're gonna say preview seals. It's a weird thing to say, but we made a series of choices, and that's how that's gonna end up. Oh, this is read write. Hey, Sapphire with the 65 stream streak. You're just one day behind Rihanna Journey, I think. Impressive. Pretty incredible. Yeah, we got a few. It's a impressive bunch of people here. I appreciate it. I don't have any kind of watch streak on any channel right now. I go very back and forth where like there are times when I just want to have a stream on in the background while I'm working, and then there's times that I like need like dead silence. And there are other times that I watch TV. Thank Godot, I work from home, right? All right, and now we're just gonna copy the settled back to the preview. I feel like I should remove the span part and just be like settled seals, copy to preview seals. Just have the span be inaccessible inside the buffer. Did you? What's my stream streak? Now that is a good question. That is a good question, Mr. Magoo. I never thought about that. What is my stream streak for this stream? Is it 100%? Probably. But what's the absolute number? That's a great question. According to YouTube, it's around 380. Hey, Magoo, you got a 25 stream streak. Impressive. Appreciate you. Okay, so here are all these. They're doing their thing. All the systems are running. The sync should be happening. Sculpting tool needs to be changed. The sculpting system. How in the world am I going to do this part? So right now we just get the tags. Oh, we also have a clipped blocks. What is that for? Oh, that's for like when we actually are doing like clipboard stuff. Well, that's not going to work anymore. Shenanigans there. So you're pretty confident you've fixed all your UV and mesh issues. Hopefully once and for all. Means you can draw other simple boxy shapes a lot easier without manually creating meshes. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. That'll be cool to see. So I guess I should just get rid of this and this and then see what we have left. It's probably the easiest way to figure out what's going wrong here. It's my favorite way to refactor. Delete something and see where all the references to it are. I know there's like tools to help with this, but I like this. I also had kind of a realization today while I was eating breakfast about going into and out of the view relatives camera space, which it really could just be a vector 2 operation, meaning I should be able to do it with a buffer 2D array. I shouldn't need a buffer 3D array or a facsimile of a buffer 3D array to do camera relative and camera absolute, like world and camera space like transforms, because it doesn't affect the Z. The Z coordinate is unaffected by any such transforms. So like, I should just set it up so I can do it with the rectangles, with rects. shenanigans. Your flat floor plane, for example, is now just a single quote-unquote voxel that you tell it to only draw the floor. And as far as textures go, you think it's a 4096 by 4096 by 4096 volume. That's hilarious. Have a volume of that enormous size just so you can draw a floor that's 4096. That's pretty funny. You can have pixel perfect grid texturing. It has the same logic for fading due to the mouse proximities the tiles do. Ooh, that's also nice. All right, so reveal blocks. This takes the block tags. I guess all of these functions need to be rewritten. Oh, so what this does, oh, this operates on a bit more complicated way than anything else. You're gonna lurk while you study for a bit? Yeah, no worries. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate the sub. Hope you're doing good. Good luck with your studies. You're gonna lurk too, Sapphire? Yeah, no, please do. No apologies. Otherwise, you're not gonna get any packing done. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the thing is, we store the full form. We still call it a form, too, which is funny. The whole form of the block, like all the details of the block, we are storing like this in the block tags buffer. If all I'm doing is painting over a hull. Okay. Copy and paste changes everything about this. So I think I'm going to just do the normal thing, which is to just not handle copy and paste right now. Man, do I still have this whole thing over here? I'll comment it out. Yeah, we never even really fully re-implemented our sculpting system. It's the one problem of refactor on top of refactor on top of refactor. There's just like bits of like deprecated functionality that's never really been addressed. We'll have to come up with something acceptable for copy paste, but I actually want copy paste to kind of be like a short circuited save load kind of thing. Like I want to, like, however we end up storing our quote unquote scenes, our like block constructs, that's the same way I want to handle like copy paste stuff, with the exception being that you can no exception. That's just kind of how I want to do it. Click drag might be different if I ever support some kind of click drag thing. Thanks for the hydrate, Nix. You can't spell manslaughter without man and laughter. There's a great, in the new, the Naked Gun joke, or the Naked Gun movie, which was funny. Leslie Nielsen makes that joke. It's like, says here you did 20 years for a man's laughter. Must have been quite a joke. It's like, so stupid. Oh no, your mod's broken, Nix. Oh. You're way too lazy to fix it. How did it break? How's that just happen? I know you've been on your compatibility tour, making sure it works with everyone else's stuff. All right, so I think all we're doing currently here is setting the hull. We don't even need this active block tag thing. I guess we kind of need an active block tag. Yeah, actually using this for anything. I think all we're ever doing is checking to see what we have. Reveal blocks, preview blocks. All right, I think I can replace these with buffer 2D read writes. Okay. Set chords, hidden form. Oh yeah, we're replacing what was there before. Right. That's funny. Your dynamic shape code returns an error due to the vertex array buffer not aligning with the morph vertex buffer array. Vertex array buffer. I appreciate you holding Nix accountable to their words. Let me go. All right, so this hidden blocks thing was a good idea because it would just copy the whole block and remember what was there. At the moment, I don't need it to do that. It's like too much. All we're doing here is like sculpting the hull, which is like adding hull pieces or removing hull pieces. We'll have to add support for like adding doors again. That's fine, because doors can only be added to hulls, so it's like... should be fine. Should be like you're doing one or the other. All right, for each coordinates in the bounds... horrible. Not hidden blocks dot try get value, coords, out block tags, hidden form. So I don't actually need to know this. If not hidden blocks, try get value chords, out block tags, hidden form, or not buffer.aabb.contains chords. This is like super redundant because if we don't get a value out of the blocks, then it doesn't matter whether it's like we can do both checks in one. We either don't get a value because there's nothing there, or we don't get a value because there's nothing there and it's out of bounds anyway. I mean, I guess that's a kind of safety check, but I'm gonna ignore it. I don't know if I like this song. Alright, buffer set coordinates hidden form. We don't need this out block tags thing. Alright, we're going to continue to break stuff. Okay, we're going to get rid of this active block tag construct. I'll add some more errors. All right, if game.input.selection stage is not equal to none. Switch game input selection stage. All right, so we need a new thing. We need to grab the hulls. D read write. Read write. Hey, Arneo. Are we shipping or are we bricking? Yeah, it's both. It's always both. Nix is correct. I like that. That's funny, Arneo. All right, so we get this bit mask. All right. So we can swap that in. That should be fine. So, okay. To do, add support for subtractive selections. Oh yeah, I do want to add support for that. Good call, Past Dave. No, we're not gonna do that now. But someday. All right, bounds is preview holes. It does not have, so case stage.continue ABB bounds equals preview holes dot clamp. So we're taking the cursor chords and we're clamping them. Why? I mean, I guess I see why. Anchor chords. Oh, we just want to mix them in with the anchor coordinates. Right. The clamp is not that important. Does the Z matter here? Probably. What we could do is we could probably say, for now, we could probably say game.board.clamp. Probably fine. I understand the airplane joke, which I wholeheartedly approve. All right, okay, down here through this section. We're messing around here. Okay, if bounds.overlaps previewblocks.aabb and active block tag.has any. Okay. Oh, if bounds.overlaps are AABB. Bounds is new. Is cursor chords getting clamped earlier? I feel like I might be unnecessarily doing this work multiple times. All right, clamp. Cursor mapping system. Cursor coords. Arnie, you almost fixed a thing today. You're like one correctly typed valid check away from having working trails again. Nice, nice. We're just trying to render stuff again. Oh, this thing relies on the block tags as well. Man, I got problems. All you care about is the hall buffer, though, right? You don't care about anything else? Okay, that should be easy to fix. Let's try to fix this now while we're here. Block halls cursor coordinates dot xy dot has. Okay, so this check has to be bound checks. This needs some kind of, so the raw cursor coords here, this is just game.input.tilemapping.xy. This is not safe. This could be anything reflected off the board, the game board. So, what creepy song we're listening to? Get. So this needs to be a get or default call. It needs to be safe. And then this needs to say as cursor coords.z. Yeah, this is weird. Arneo, rendering do be complex. Did you already try adding the cutaway system, or are you still kind of working on rendering things efficiently before making the more complicated stuff? All I'm doing right now is trying to switch from having this one buffer that held all the different flags for a given block to be doing a different like bit mask for each of those for the space. That's what I'm starting with, because if we have that, we have very clear read-write dependencies, and we have a very small structure. It's only going to be 16 kilobytes. A bit mask for a 64 by 64 by 64 volume is just 16 kilobytes, and that is guaranteed to fit, I think, within the minimum reserved like resource. Like I think it's a good fit for a UBO, a uniform buffer object on the GPU. Because part of the problem is we were using SSBOs to transfer our data over, and it's bigger data and it's better for stuff that's changing less often. But we're thinking about how to set up our data so that we can get help from the compute shader, for some of this stuff that is very volumetric and needs to happen very quickly for to reflect an updated rendering change. So we are trying to make the rendering more efficient so that we can make these rapid updates. But we're taking a different approach. We're not like trying to push the rendering itself. We're not trying to handle the rendering ourselves now in a compute shader, but we are thinking about how to do some extra work. Because a lot of stuff we can just put on a background thread, and if it's done in a couple seconds, it doesn't matter. But there is stuff that needs to be ready quickly, and that stuff needs to be probably best handled in a compute shader. If I can get the inputs small enough and infrequent enough. What was I asking? UBO, uniform buffer object. minimum guaranteed size. Support, I guess. Vulkan, I don't know. Yeah, 16 kilobytes. Minimum guaranteed maximum size. So confused. Minimum guaranteed maximum size, an individual UBO, a uniform buffer binding, full support in Vulkan is 16 kilobytes. Which is great. So if we can get our little buffers to that size, we guaranteed support. Sorry, it's getting text. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. Good week as well, if possible. Is this a read-only buffer? Yeah, it is. Oh. Cursor mapping system. It's reading the hulls from the settled blocks. Oh, of course it is. It has to, right. This is ridiculous. Go. What happens on stream stays on stream, okay? No, that's not really true. What happens on stream is immortalized in YouTube VODs forever. Or at least until I just take them all down due to some kind of crazy, unforeseeable issue in the future. I should probably download the YouTube VODs at some point. I don't really want to though, because we use about 50 gigabytes each stream. I really don't want to have to get another terabyte of storage every month, which is what I would have to do if I actually wanted to hold on to these and store them offline. I would need to buy a terabyte every month. I don't think storage is that cheap. I don't know what the maximum size disk drives are nowadays, but they can't be much more than like 3 or 4 terabytes. High capacity disk drives. Internal. You can get up to 36 terabytes. It's not that bad. It's probably really expensive. I can't imagine storage prices are terribly low, considering what memory prices are doing. I think I have a handful of terabytes. Yeah, this doesn't look great. You can get a 20 gigabyte Seagate on sale for $420. It's a lot. That's like 20 bucks a terabyte. I mean, that's not nothing. It's not as much as I thought it would be, but it's not nothing. All right, see you, Sapphire. Arneo, why do you find learning about data structures more fun than trying to understand shaders? I guess in this case, the subjects intersect a little. They intersect a lot. what I've learned about compute shaders is most of it is about structuring everything correctly. ECS is like that too. Pretty much any programming that needs to be aware of performance is generally going to be very carefully looking at things like what data structure you're using, how frequently are you updating it, what is the if all you're doing is thinking about here's my input data and then here's my output data, and all you do is think about the transform from the input data to the output data, that's it. That's the whole thing, right? That's the whole thing we're trying to achieve, is take some input data, generate some output data. All right. So this isn't safe either. Else, game input cursor coords. Okay, so we actually pass along the unsafe, possibly totally out of bounds coordinate. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. I mean, I'm glad I looked at this because we had to fix all of this code, but... I need to do a big project cleanup. It's gonna be spring cleaning soon, and I need to gut like so much old code and old assets and stuff that we don't use anymore. Nanigans, what happens on stream stays archived in status in the VODs, yeah, until people start clipping it and making shorts, TikToks. Yeah. Nanigans. You can be careful of with getting really large drives is that if the drive dies, even if you have them in RAID, it becomes increasingly unlikely to be able to recover everything. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But the thing is, it would be a backup for a backup. So I think we'd accept it. I mean, what I could do is just put it on a different cold storage location. Like, I could just make an S3 bucket and then, like, put my YouTube VODs on there every once in a while. Or even just record them and then put them on there. But then I just have a different cloud storage. So yeah, I don't see a good solution. I think I'm okay losing the VODs in a situation that I would. I know old me would regret it. Old me would be like, how did you do that? How did you lose all of that? But current me is like, so what? You want like a computer with like 100 terabyte capacity just to store like a few years of VODs? That said, I have a computer that has room. It's this huge box that I'm going to turn into my Linux server thing. Half of the space in that box is just for hard drives, so it's like, I could do it. I could do it, though. What were we doing? I don't even remember. This. Going through here, making sure the sculpting tool works still. Oh yeah, bounds overlaps. So if this boundary... Oh, this isn't right. There should be a clamp here. Actually, there should be a safety thing here somewhere. I don't know where. So here we set the bounds, just be the cursor coords. Here we do some clamping. We're willing to set the anchor coords to be... I don't like the lack of boundary checking that's happening. Hey, Blue Fox Studios, can you borrow some viewers? Yeah, sure. Take your pick. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. What are you talking about, Nix? Okay. Sorry, Nix. Blue Fox Studios wants to borrow you. Arneo, sell me on it. My tab space is limited. That's funny. You're non-playable character, Nix? Alright, fair enough. Alright, so we're gonna ignore the safety checks. We're gonna just do it where it most matters. Do we do it here? Vector coordinate and bounds if the buffer isn't contained. Alright. I still have tons of regrets for not just making a bit mask 3D thing out of a buffer 2D and then exposing some functionality. Because the problem is we can't... Well, okay, I can get around this for now, I guess. We can do that stuff later. And that is, you know, my motto. Is let's not worry about that right now. I do need to worry about this, though. So we're making a new boundary every time. Can we make it safer? Game.board.clamp. We could do the same thing here. We could say... That's probably for the best. Bounds equals game.board.clamp. Excuse me. Got to have a nice big breakfast before the stream. So good. Alright, so where's the problem, friendo? Anchor chords, cursor chords, game.board.clamp, new, vector3i, vector2i, int. Why do you think that's what we're doing here? Oh, no, new. This should be new AABB. Why isn't that working? How does it, what does it say here? New AABB. Is that all I need to do? Just tell it what it is? I guess so. Okay, if bounds.overlaps. Oh, I guess I mean this still has... Well, this clamps. I think there's a reason we're not clamping. Because if we clamp, the weird things are going to happen. So yeah, we can't actually clamp this. We just have to allow this to be unsafe for now. Which is why we have a bounds check. So we'll say game.board. For now, we'll do it like this. Say bounds. And we'll say if up here we're going to say placement active equals true. How's it going, Blue Fox? What have you been up to? You're playing Poppy Playtime. I don't know what that is. Is that like a FNAF thing? Yes, it is. Very much is like a FNAF thing. What a horrifying, like, phenomenon. I had exactly one period of time where I was like, I had fun playing like kind of more spooky, like horror games, like the Amnesia games and like stuff like that. And it was exactly during the pandemic, where me and my friends, we would like play games and like stream them on Discord to each other. I probably should have just started Twitch streaming back then. Would have saved myself some trouble. All right, place blocks, bounds. Should I just do the overlap? Or should I just send this in without that? This sucks. Are we gonna just keep doing it this way though? Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't trust that the bounds we're getting sent in here are valid, so I should do some kind of check. So place blocks, preview holes, game.input.inEraser mode. Cool, false. Oh, yeah, that's pretty easy. Race equals false, I guess. I don't know. Could I just have one of these then? If I do it like this? It says this is being used somewhere. I don't know where that is. Arneo, you're too old to be pliable. You know exactly what you're signing up for. You'll get grouchy and low on blood sugar. Yeah, I don't know how much bend I have left in my knees, you know? All right, why are you upset? Because I didn't rewrite this. This is so hard-coded. Buffer 2D read-only. There we go. Are you read-only? No, you're specifically read-write. All right. If not buffer, AAB contains coords. Continue. You know, I'm going to continue to just shortcut this. This is, like, not good. But it should be fine. Index is buffer.getIndex coords. Do I need to know this index? Kind of. Hidden blocks, triad. .span.index. Oh, I gotta change this thing too. This is not gonna be this anymore. This is just gonna be. This is kind of stupid. I guess this is what I'm gonna do. That should break some things. All right, take it easy, Blue Fox. Nanigans, you've been telling OBS to just save locally when you stream for now. No guarantee you'll be keeping that. You're not doing 4K though either. Yeah. Yeah, 3 hours at 4K ends up being like 50 gigs. Hey, Chic IO. Cool name. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Do we need like a stream chat for the Discord? I've seen other channels have something like that. Like the Discord has like a stream chat that people can like. I guess people normally do that when links are not allowed on stream, which I'm generally okay with. But I guess people on the YouTube can't do it. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I would just add it to the list of things I've said I was going to do with the Discord that I haven't done yet. All right, so this function is what we're looking at. Index is buffer.getIndex, coords.xy. Hidden blocks.tryAdd, coords, buffer.span, index, dot has. I don't know if I need to do this containment check. I could probably just do a try set. But we're going to do it. We're doing it awkwardly. Doing it awkwardly is what eventually lets us figure out the correct way to do it. Bool has Hull. I don't want the span to be accessible. This is a messy way to do this. Buffer span index equals... Should I just say buffer.span index.set? Coords.z. No, that's not right. It should just be this. Oh no, it can't be. It has to be set. Ugh, how do I actually want to do this? This is awkward. You're not sure how much you would use that. Your Discord is always open while watching. You're not sure what you actually prefer to do is, but you want the cooking chat and recipe sharing move there. No. That wasn't what made me think of it. What made me think of it was there's nowhere to really do it. So like Magoo was using like off-topic chat, which is fine. I was just wondering if there was a better way. This seems fine. I think for us, less is more. I have the bad habit of outwardly musing what I'm thinking about doing or not doing with the stream before I've actually decided anything, really. You agree, Nanigans? All right, so what we need to do is we need to toggle, well, not toggle, we need to set a particular flag in this bit field associated with these XY coordinates. Is it easier to just grab it and say width? Do we actually care what this value is? I guess we do a little. Actually, here, what if we did this? Bit field 64, say value. Say get index. And then here we could say hidden blocks triad coords, and we can just say value.has coords.z. And then here we'd say buffer.span index. Actually, we would say buffer.set. We would say index. Actually, we couldn't set index. We want to say buffer.set index.xy. How do I have this set up? Oh, I don't have a set on the buffer itself, do I? Set in field 6. Oh, no, I do. I totally do. Index. We could say value with oh, that won't work because it's not a property. We'd say value and would be value and coords.z. No. I've like lost the thread here. All right, we're in ads. Hang tight over on Twitch. All right, all I'm really trying to do... Oh, I gotta write this. I gotta consider the erase. We have an awkward system because we have this 2D buffer of bitfield 64s, and the z-axis, the volume of it is stored in this bitfield. Instead of just having, a buffer 3D of bits or bools or whatever. This is how we're doing it. This is how it's organized. It's kind of a temporary workaround until I can bother to actually make a good data structure for this. It means I gotta pull out the Z level here, the bit field. So for placing, we're going to be adding, unless we're in erase mode, in which case we're going to be removing. So I just need to pick the field we're in. Actually, can I say this? Buffer index dot set. Yeah, that's the right thing to do. Buffer dot index. Actually, we know the value. So we can't say it like this. So we have this value, and we need to store the particular value here in the hidden blocks. And then what we do here is we take this value and we either set or unset a particular index. Set int index t value. So here it would be new bit field 64. could say value. I don't know if we need to say new. We could just say value. And value or. So we need to know if we're erasing. If we are. If we are erasing. Oh no, so it's not going to be an or. It's going to be and. Oh my god. I have a command for this. I like have utility functions. So set is inclusive. So we could just set the index. Is there something we have that's more specific for this? We don't care about doing the very best thing. We just want to do something. So I think what we could do is we could say, are we erasing? If we are, then it's I don't like that. I don't like manipulating bit fields. I get confused very easily. So all we're trying to do is either set or clear flag at the index that corresponds to the coordinates z component. All we have to do is either toggle it on if we're not erased and toggle it off if we are. That's all I need to do. How have I made things hard for myself? So bitfield64 index is new index. Yeah, so I can just make a new field. Should be able to make a new field by just passing in the index that we want. And then if we're erasing it, we'll just unary, whatever you call this, whatever the little tilde bitwise operator is called. So if we are erasing, it'll be value and coords.z. I'll do this. Yeah, because we have a static implicit operator that should just work. So I can say value and not towards .z. And then if we aren't erasing, it's just value or towards .z. That should work. And it's pretty simple and straightforward. And again, same there. You made a simple library for basic things, but you also switched to doing bit operations when you were optimizing your voxel mesher. Reduced legibility trade-off for performance gains. Yeah. We're just trying to optimize on space. I'm not trying to use a whole 32-bit bool or whatever. Just store one thing that something's on or off. Sorry, I know it's been particularly dull on the stream recently. We've been kind of struggling with stuff. But we're going to get through it in time. So do I even need this version of the function anymore? Not really. Eventually, probably, but we're just going to get rid of this for now. Same deal with this. Erase blocks. I'm going to say buffer 2D read write. Oh, man. Wait, why? I could do this differently. Right now we have a separate erase blocks function. I'm going to get rid of those. Don't actually need it. I might call this replace blocks. And then there's this version, which takes a buffer, an input and output buffer. Nix, you fix some of your code. You broke something else. Yeah. That is always how it goes. It's always how it goes. All right. If not input.aab contains and not output. Oh my God. We're going to comment this one out. We're going to say if game.board.contains. Oh, we don't actually have to do the whole... We don't actually have to do it this way, do we? Oh, no, we do. We do. What do I use this for? This is for, like, some copy-paste stuff, isn't it? Who's calling this? Yep, it's some copy-paste stuff. Placement active needs to be true by default here. We're going to punt on this clipboard stuff. I want to totally rethink how copy paste works. Hey, Void Blit. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. How are you doing? We're struggling through work. Just kind of just the way it is for me right now. I need a vacation. Luckily, I'm getting one. So I'll be leaving Friday evening for a nice long weekend out of town. It's going to be nice. Does mean there won't be a stream Saturday or next Tuesday. But I think it's going to be worth it. All right, so if not hidden blocks, try get value coords out. Bool as hull. Or so if you don't get the value or we don't have the value anyway, then just go for it. Actually, that's not true. We want to replace the value. So we'll do something like this. Instead of asking about erase, we're going to be asking about has hull. We'll say buffer.set. We'll say coords.xy. Do I work from home? Yes, I do, VoidBlit. I have for a number of years now. Pretty much entirely from home. I go into our office once a week or once every other week, depending. But yeah, I'm lucky. I'm very lucky that I'm still like that. There's murmurings that that's going to change. But it's been very good. It's been very good. It's definitely the reason I've been able to do this kind of, you know, big chunk of streaming that I do during the day here. So we're going to say has hull. How are you doing? Has hull. If it does, if we do have the hull, we're going to say value. Oh no, we're going to say. Actually, let's do this. Let's say buffer. Coords.xy.set. Oh no, we don't want to do it that way, right? Because we actually do want to do it like this. Coords xy has hull. Say buffer.get or well, get or default doesn't make any sense here. So we'll say buffer.get coords.xy. Actually, we should just get the value. We should do the same thing we do here. Just for simplicity's sake. You're going to keep me in the background as you're messing around in Godot. Nice, nice. That's what we like to hear. Good luck in Godot today. If you like sharing what you're working on, I would love to hear about it. but if not, no worries. All right. So if we have hull, it's going to be value and coords.z. Otherwise, it's going to be value and the not .z. That should work in theory, you know, theoretically. Move this to the bottom here. All right, what is this? Why are there two of these? Oh, this just takes a list. Do I actually want to have to maintain this? Or should this actually just... Can you just become a list? You can make a list, right? Do I want to do that? I guess there's no reason not to, because it's just an enumeration. So this is actually... So we're going to copy this down here. So this could actually be coordinates. Let's still call it bounds. Void Blade, you're just making a little space guy shooting a gun. It'll take a few more years, but at some point there will also be a guy who shoots a gun at the player. Oh, you got this. You don't need years. This is the guy who's been working on a map editor for a long time, well over a year. It doesn't even really edit maps yet. You need sturdy foundations, you know? If you're gonna build. Alright, so this version is actually gonna just call the other version. Bounds.toList, and then buffer. No way, I don't have to maintain this code in multiple places. Nix, you'll be sure you'll get there sooner than Dave will? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm so sure of this. Alright, forget about clipboard shenanigans. Let's just get blocks drawing again, you know? Let's just try to get our shit together here. Shenanigans, you've gone the opposite direction. You're not temporarily no longer working on a map editor, but instead working on a tile editor. You're going even deeper. Place blocks, reveal blocks, preview halls. We should just be able to swap these out, and then that should be all we need to do for the rest of this. Else if... So, hold on. Should I call this preview active or something? For now, we'll just call it this. What really needs a lot of love is our like system for handling the block palette, which is like the little thing in the corner that's like lets you pick what blocks you're placing. I want that to be like a kind of scene thing. Like how a prefab would be in Unity, but you know, better, like how it is in Godot. All right, so now when so this is going to be place blocks, replace blocks, preview holes, game input dot in eraser mode, cursor coords equals game dot input dot x. If this, else this. So we're doing this either way. So I can just put this in here. I can get rid of this. I can move this down. Arneo, it's not going to take 2 years. Don't worry. After you made your guy, you just copied him, made him red, and wrote some unique code for him, and he was shooting your guy in no time. Oh, I get what you mean. Yeah, you took the player controller, made an AI controller, and it was very straightforward. Yeah. Yeah. The simple version of that is not hard. I think the only advice I have for people trying to make stuff like that is that you want to retain as much asymmetry as you can between what it is that the AI does and what it is that the player is trying to do. To me, the hard part about AI is about like developing game AI specifically, not whatever AI means nowadays, colloquially, but game AI. The hard part is like when you require the AI to either do the same thing as the player or to like utilize the same affordances as the player, or to have to present itself in a way that it's like believably like a player. All of those are like easy failure points, but it's like if your AI is asymmetrical, like if like the player is Terran and the AI is Zerg, and that's all you ever have to worry about, then it's like totally different problem. Super great, because the asymmetry of the AI is actually a feature then, not a bug. It's like part of their personality is like the unique way they react to things. Like, that's my advice, which doesn't help Arneo. But like for our game, we'll run into that problem eventually, because in one way, but in another way, I don't think we will. Which, on one way, the AI, the primary AI of the game is really just whatever little agents are controlling these crew members. And you're not a crew member. So the crew members aren't you. They aren't like you. They aren't going to make decisions like you. They're little things. There is going to be like an AI that controls like opposition ships. But those ships aren't players in their own roguelike trying to like survive. They're like a dramatic persona for the player to like to be antagonized by the player, and to some extent. So yeah, in some way, even if the AI is trying to kind of seem like it's doing the same thing as the player, if the motivation and where they're coming from is totally different, like they're a momentary adversary, not like a persistent foe, then it's like also easier. Nix, I could make it so that a player can select the prefabs from a list and put them on a hotbar, so you don't have like 10,000 icons on the UI for each variation of the block, or just have the main type and like the user can scroll through the different variation from the same hotkey. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I definitely don't want the visual list of like them to be very long. And in fact, the icons aren't even going to be usable in most cases. Especially if it's like a clipboard thing where you can like copy a room and then like save that room as like a prefab and then like load that room into, or paste it around or whatever. It'll be interesting to see. how we do that. Is the player the captain or something else? I haven't totally decided that. Insofar, I haven't decided whether there will be like, I assume there will be a crew member that is the captain, that acts as the captain. But I don't think that's an avatar for the player. I think the player is like the spirit of the ship. In the same way that like in Dwarf Fortress, you don't play a dwarf, you play like the spirit of the fort, the will of the fort, or whatever you want to call it. However, I do think I maybe kind of want to personify the player's existence as part of the ship. And I've had ideas about that. Like having the player be like, I'd have to go find the picture. But having the player be like integrated into the ship in some way. Not as an AI, because there's an important distinction lore-wise about humans and machines. Like there will be ships that are crewed by a captain that is just that crew is just self-sufficient. They don't have like a player, you know, directing their actions. And then you, the player, represent some kind of demigod character, some kind of like part biological, part machine, part ethereal kind of creature. Kind of like a hero of the Iliad, like Aeneas or I don't know, whichever, name any other one who's like a demigod, Achilles. And then there's also going to be like pure machine spirits, which represent like the actual godlike pantheon. Like Zeus is not some mortal being. Zeus is like some galaxy spanning AI spirit or something like that. So there's this mythology that I built that'll kind of situate the player somewhere in the middle of that gradient. And so I've sketched up some ideas about what that will look like. But I think the player will be integrated in the ship to some extent. And part of that is to prevent the game becoming about like, oh, we've captured a new ship, let's abandon our ship and take over this new ship. Like losing your ship will count as game over in this game for sure. Otherwise, it'll just be like, oh, we started out with this dinky ship and we somehow managed to capture a bigger ship, so let's all get onto the bigger ship. Like, I don't think that'll be an option for the player. So you're like an omniscient agent gently prodding people along. You don't think the player has to be diegetically present. In some strategy games, you're like a god guiding the people, but you don't think it's a must. It's going to be somewhere in the middle. You will be diegetically present, but not in a meaningful way. Like, you will be part of the ship. So, like, part of the defending the ship is also going to be defending yourself, right? Like, you're kind of more like, the game Void Crew I've been playing actually does this. There's like this little homunculus that actually powers the ship, and it acts as like the central intelligence, like the nervous system of the ship. You're more like a sentient version of the Enterprise computer, or like Rami from what's that old show, Andromeda Ascendant? Is that what it's called? No, that's not the show's name. That's the ship's name. Andromeda? Is that just the show? What the show's called? Something like that. That's going to be more like what you're going to be doing. Or more like your representative on the ship. But yeah, it kind of awkward. It's going to exist in this kind of awkward middle ground that I think will be interesting. Will this work now? Probably not. But I'm not sure what else to check here. I guess I should check the flood filling system. If the flood filling system is even running right now. So you read the block tags. What do you read the block tags for? All you read about is the hull. Okay, so that should be easy. So I think we're almost done swapping in our bit masks here in place of the larger block tag construct. So we're going to call this block hulls. We'll move this up here. think having the pantheon be represented as these kinds of ethereal machine spirits is gonna be cool. Because you need to be able to like acknowledge, like the whole like Zeus was able to like he could like take a few steps out from Mount Olympus and be like and like walk like across the whole known world. And I'm thinking about like something like that, like a Poseidon being able to just like cross the galaxy just ethereally. And that was cool because then you could have these beings that can oppose you again and again. Because you can't actually defeat them because they're immortal. You could defeat their like mortal representatives. The more religiously coded entity seems fitting for the Odyssey theme rather than being like a computer AI type thing. Maybe a benevolent Q type character. I want to ground it in like a machine spirit. We're not gonna have like. It's not gonna be a true Deus Ex thing. The idea would be that they're these ancient machine spirits. And so part of being a demigod, which your character is supposed to be, like whoever. I said Aeneas or Achilles or anyone else that counts as that. Perseus, I guess that's a good example. You'll be this kind of machine spirit, mortal hybrid kind of creature. And then there will be regular humans that are just, you know, mortals. New buffer, 2D. Oops. 2D read only. All right, count, compartmentalize, get used bounds, block tags, block rooms, block tags. You can just use block rooms, right? Oh, maybe we can't. Compartmentalize. Oh yeah, this is what we're changing. Oh, we want to get the actual used bounds. Man, this sucks. My choice not to make a correct like bit mask volume thing is causing some complications in the way that we do this. We're gonna just disable flood filling for a second. Just to see how this is gonna work. I think we're close to having this work again, which is great. I would love to be drawing things again. There's gonna be a lot of syncing if I do it this way. Yeah, let's just see. I'm tired of trying to guess what the problem is gonna be. Just show me an error. Show me an error message. Here we go. Component dot flags, component types dot size, component block seal buffer 2D, size 32. Oh, did I not? I didn't update that list, huh? That list is not up to date. I need a better way to organize my components than what I've currently got going on. Yeah, we need to add another one in here. I'd love if it didn't automatically do that all the time. Okay, will it work now? Okay. We're kind of working. We're kind of in action here. Well, that was weird. Why do you bug out like that? Am I just at the edge? I might just be at the edge of the buildable area. It seems like it's bugging out somewhere in the middle here. Oh, there's some stuff happening slowly, which is not good. Well, that's also not good. Alright, so what's that happening? So we're traversing a block and it's being erased. Okay, that should be relatively easy to fix. Hey, bad cop. How's it going? I like your Nix. I like the it's like it sounds like almost like Event Horizon like fan fiction. That's crazy. That's what I'm thinking of too now, as far as like a ship machine spirit. I think about the presence that possesses the Event Horizon after its trip to who knows where. All right, what are we looking for? We're looking for... There's something down here, which is this. Oh, so this is actually not going to... I need another word for this. You did a vibe code this weekend? How'd that go? I like it. I like your story. Nix, that was smart. That was fun. Surprisingly not that bad. Bad cop. What was your approach? Was your approach to like... Because the thing I've seen a lot of people do is they create like a little army of agents. And they just send their little minions off to do their thing. And you're just kind of wrangling them. I've watched Randy doing that a lot lately. You just do one agent with Cloud Code. Yeah, that's probably more reasonable. Not as funny, but probably more reasonable. Made a tool for your dialogue system you've been wanting? Oh, nice. Check this screen graph out. This doesn't tell me anything. Oh, here we go. Oh. Oh, cool. Oh, this is neat. This is like a little dialogue. I mean, you said it was a dialogue tool. I like how this is structured. How does this work? Do I check these boxes? It's cool to be able to see these different paths here. It's a real neat structure. Try checking a box. I will. Oh, it collapses. Does it collapse further down anything that's like affected by these decisions further on too? That's cool. This is rad. I haven't done any kind of dialogue management, and I know I'm gonna live to regret that. That's super cool. Huh, you vibe code that up. Nice. Previously, you did it all in a Google Doc. You want to like Google Doc plus arrows? That's cool. It's super cool. All right, so our problem is this is so if placement active field blocks preview halls. Oh, so we're just doing this like all the time. Cool. So I need to re-engage this. So when we do a selection, we set this to false. Otherwise, this should always be active. Why is this not always being... Am I terminating it here? No. Placement active equals true. Replace blocks. Game.input in eraser mode. I wonder what this is. What value that's set to. It should be just false. Like most of the time. Who's setting this? Just you. Huh. Okay, so why is this happening? I think it's this. But we shouldn't actually get to this point. Let me see if we're actually getting to this. If we're even getting to this area. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's not gonna help me. I realize now. I'm trying to enjoy my last bit of free time here before GDC comes by, Down to Jam starts, and then Ludum Dare, and then by the time I know, we're already done with spring. Oh, I kind of understand what's happening here. So we're just erasing the block underneath. But we're not syncing it. It's weird. Why? Why are we doing that? Oh, is it because you're not... Are you doing GDC? I mean, I'm not getting a ticket, but there's some stuff I want to do that week. I'm actually going to try to go to Slug World this year, I think. I always say I'm going to go, and I don't. Try to do Slug World. There's going to be probably a couple of meetups I want to go to. I'm going to do the hangout in the park. Just meet people for lunch and hang out and stuff. I'm not going to do any of... I don't think I'm going to do any big events. Gonna try to be more social. All right, so this is causing us a problem. So erase, it's usually false. Oh, the hidden block thing is weird. We We actually have to consider the coordinate, the W coordinate now. W component is like the offset of the face that we're actually hovering over. I think we're doing it here, maybe, or here. I guess it could be either of these reveal blocks. I think we're being too aggressive about this. If there's nothing here, don't do anything. If there is something here, figure out what the value is. Let's make sure I at least have isolated where this problem is. I mean, I think I'm pretty sure I know. So yeah, there's nothing that's going to be clearing this anymore. I mean, this is cool. Not really what we want, though. Cool that the cursor mapping thing works pretty well, though. So the reason why this is happening is we're not cleaning up after ourselves as we're like previewing this block. So we want to temporarily draw whatever the block is that the player is like got going. But we need to clean up. And for some reason the cleanup is being handled very poorly. Oh, I know what we need to do. I understand. Where is... I don't know why this wasn't a problem before. But I think it really does relate to the cursor coordinate, the cursor coords W component. I think that really does matter for this a lot. That tells us where our offset is. Because we should be cleaning up the offset, not the lower level component. So here we have cursor coords. So if we're in eraser mode, if game.input.inEraser mode, cursor coords equals game.input.cursorcoords.xyz. Otherwise, we want to consider the W part, which are we not doing that already? Cursor coords equals game.input.cursorcoords.xyz plus block.getsCoords block face game.input.cursorcoords.w. Okay, so we are doing this. This prior bounds thing is wrong. Arneo, you've successfully made some valid checks for a dictionary, and now you can even erase things from the dictionary. Hey, no, Joel, maximum warp. It's nice when an error message is just an already reported bug in GDScript that you can easily get around. Yeah. Apparently you can't erase things from typed dictionaries in GDScript without it throwing an error message. What? That doesn't make sense. I haven't done a lot with typed dictionaries in GDScript. I like that they're there, though. Initial versions of this was all just dictionaries, everything, dictionary everywhere. But now we've got some better stuff. Okay, so there's something wrong happening in this block. Because this block is the only block we're like ever in during a hover. This is not the right thing for, but we're gonna leave it. So we reveal the blocks for the prior bounds. And then if we're in eraser mode, we reset the cursor coordinates to not include the W component, which is the offset. To not consider the W component, which is the offset. Then we call replace blocks for this cursor. Ooh, for this cursor coordinate. Preview holes. Do not input dot eraser mode. And then we set the prior bounds to be this. So why the prior bounds? Is it because so when we come to an ending here, we should be doing something here at the end of the construction. We should be setting the prior bounds to be like nothing. Actually, no, we shouldn't need to do that because we're clearing this hidden blocks construction thing. Arneo, oh, you have an error. You have an actual GitHub issue, or you have a Godot issue for it. Cool. We'll take a look at that in a second. We're actually gonna be heading into ads. I'm gonna take a quick bio break when that happens, and then I'll look. Well, let's look at it now. We got a minute. You need more rewards for all your points, no, Joel? I know, it's a problem. It's a problem. I only recently learned that you can't do things like offer Steam keys and stuff for channel point rewards. That was gonna be my plan in the long run. But, not allowed to do that. So I gotta come up with some more cute things that you can do with your points. So what's going on here? Erasing a freed object from a typed array or dictionary fails and prints an error. Erasing a freed object. Interesting. I mean, any kind of reference to a freed object would be weird. But that's interesting that that interacts with the typed array or dictionary like this. Huh. All right, we're gonna read about this in a second. I'm gonna be right back while we run the ads over on Twitch. Thank you all so much for hanging out today. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. All right, I want to understand a little more about this bug. So in Godot, trying to erase an object from a typed array or dictionary, Godot fails to erase it and prints an error message. For arrays, the object can only be removed using remove at. For dictionaries, the object simply cannot be removed. I think I've seen this. So dictionary, object, int, object. Object is object new. Object.free, dictionary.erase, object. I mean, I understand why you can't do this. Yeah, remove at seems like that should work. Well, no, I guess I understand why that can't work for a dictionary. It's weird that untyped works fine. Yeah, you really shouldn't have a reference to a freed object. Like, you should be erasing... Arneo, you should be erasing your object from the dictionary before you free it. So for an untyped array, no type validation occurs. So there's no checking. It's interesting. Oh, apparently this check is only enforced in debug builds. Just never use a debug build. I'm not gonna... Oh, Outfrost is on this. I'm sure people are working on this. That's crazy. But yeah. I guess you should just be cleaning up your references before you free the thing. That's like normally how it would work if you were manually managing your memory. You should destroy all of your references to the thing you're about to free and then free it. All right. So, hold on. So does this work? Does this thing behave correctly while we're making a placement? Is it only upon follow-ups that this doesn't work? Yeah, so if I do this, this works. The delay is kind of funny. It's like you can actually see the thing registering in real time. It's kind of hilarious. Interesting, you can... Oh no, I saw it on the other axis. So this is all fine. Oh, interesting how shortening this looks like glitches out for a second. Why does that happen? There's some interesting behaviors. Okay, but this does work. It's correctly like hiding or revealing blocks in this mode. It's only once we've made the selection. Oh, is this working too? Okay, no. Oh, it's not working here. Oh, it's erasing the whole thing. Oh, it's erasing the whole bit field. Oh. That makes this a lot clearer what's happening. Interesting. So we're not copying the value back correctly. We're doing something else. Interesting. Okay, let's figure that out. So that's actually not... I don't think the problem is here. I think the problem is down here. Or actually, it's probably here. Arneo, makes sense. The tutorial told you to call queue free for things you don't need anymore. But you're learning you can't do that without removing all references to it first. Yeah, I mean, the tutorial's not wrong. It's just you should queue free things that aren't referenced anymore. So you should just clean up your references and then queue free the thing, right? I mean, it's nice when, you know, systems prevent that from happening or prevent you from needing to manage that too much manually, because that's just what ref counted is, right? Like Godot already has that as a type. Like a ref counted thing sticks around until nothing refers to it anymore. And so you could use that and then not bother queue freeing things yourself. That would work generally, I think. Because that's the beauty of ref counted. Is it's like keeping track of how many references there are to the thing. And when there's no more references, the thing might as well just not exist anymore. I like this song a lot up until the moment someone starts just talking. Someone starts talking in this kind of wispy voice. Not wispy, maybe. You'll hear it. I think it's going to start soon. Oh, fake out. I got faked out. All right, so the problem here is this value. So we're getting this value from the buffer. Oh yeah, there it is. Randy, you just tuned back in. You thought ref counter was part of the base inheritance tree for most nodes. It is! Isn't that fun? Yeah, where is it in the tree? Ref counted. Yeah, inherits object. Inherited by pretty much everything else. It's right below object, it seems. But I don't know, is node in? I don't think node is a ref counted by default. I think ref counted is more for resources. I actually don't think it's in the node inheritance path. Ref counted. No, it's for like... Yeah, I don't see node. It's more for resources, I think. Yeah, I don't know what you're tracking, Arneo. If it's actually an object, it's not really it's not, and it's somewhere else in like a different inheritance tree, you can't necessarily rely on ref counted. But if it's possible, if you're doing some custom class stuff, this could help manage it for you, depending on what you're doing. Arneo, you have a bunch of objects that call Q free on themselves when they die, but maybe it should be the main scene script that should kill asteroids once they blow up, not the asteroids themselves. Yeah, it can be tough. You can be tough. Node is not a ref counted. Yep. Bad cops. Got it. Bad cop knows it all. This is for your asteroids. Bad cop, you don't know it all. You just don't talk when you don't know. That's wise. That is deep wisdom. That is not my approach. It should be, but it's very clearly not. The amount I talk isn't usually directly correlated to the amount of I know. Which is classic. Classic guy behavior here. Unless you're streaming. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, if you're streaming, you have to hold court. You can't be bogged down by things like knowledge. All right. So the problem for us, we're getting this value. So the index is buffer.getIndex equals to xy. Value is buffer.getIndex. Buffer.set. So we set at the chords x and y. So what are we setting? We're setting a value, t value. We're saying, is there a hull here? So it has hull, hidden blocks, try get value, chords. Has hull. If it has hull, then we're setting value or coordinates.z. So if there is a hidden block and it has a hull there, do that. Otherwise, we do value and not coords.z. So is there an order of operations problem here? This should be converted from a vector, from an int to a bit field with just one thing set. Is there an easier, I mean, I know there's an easier way to do this. I thought this was a neat way to do this, but clearly this is like kind of rough. Value and not coords.z. Okay, well that had an effect, so that might be something we have to do here. Probably should be converting that into a bit field 64 and then doing that. There's probably a better way to do that, but I'm going to do it like this for now because YOLO. Oh, whoa. We got Nanigans over on Twitch chat. Crazy. I don't know if I've ever even seen that before. Okay, so now if I build something out. Okay, we're no longer just erasing stuff. Cool, cool. Cool. I kind of like the weird delay on the block stuff where it takes like a second to fill out correctly. Like when I like, kind of like that. I think that's kind of neat. I would probably want to do it more purposely if we were going to do it at all, but I think it's kind of funny. But hey, we got good performance now. We're doing all right. I don't like the flickering that I'm seeing a lot of, where we like jump coordinates. I know why this is happening to an extent. It's because the canvas item draws function, where that system is running on a background thread, and I think it's preparing the data just too slowly. I don't know. It shouldn't really do a thing. It shouldn't really be causing us. Does erase work correctly? Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like erase is working okay. Who is doing the flood filling right now? Oh, we're not flood filling. We're just doing simple block type checks. Okay, so that worked. We kind of achieved what we wanted to achieve with this. It's still a little weird. Okay. like the manual Z control stuff. I definitely want to turn on like a cast shadow thing. I guess it's not a shadow. It would be like an overlay. Speaking of overlays, that's also something we really need to add support back for. We can't do selection overlays at the moment. Unfortunate. All right. We're getting back into shape. Oh, yeah, Nanigans is suggesting pooling the asteroids instead of freeing them. That is probably better for Godot. The YouTube is live. There's lots of people over on the YouTube watching. Hi, YouTube. It's true that chat is pretty quiet, but that's okay. There's plenty of people on Twitch that have something to say. All right, so now we got things working again. Now's the time to get the flood filling back. Flood filling system. Get that going again. So this is going to replace block halls, block rooms. We need to do this compartmentalization step, but we need to know the actual used bounds of this thing, which is tough. I have to decide how I want to handle that. I am really tempted to just make I'm tempted to try again with our bitmask 3D thing. I would like to be able to do things like get used bounds, because we actually need that kind of badly. Your visit is short-lived. All right. See you, Nanigans. Take it easy. All right. So what are we going to do next? I still can't run this. I really do want to be able to interact with these bit masks, these bit mask volumes in a way that's more intuitive. In this buffer 2D read-only thing. I also don't want to explicitly, like, I don't want to have to be hard coding these things as bitfield 64s. Like, if we're dealing with a 32 by 32 by 32 thing, we could switch to that. That's what we can use. I don't want to hard code, force myself to use 64s, but at the moment we could. At the moment we could. Yeah, I wanted to switch to using like an iBit field and then have these different bit fields defined. Right now I only have a couple. I would like to switch to something like that. And then switch to, like, instead of a buffer 2D read only and a read write, we could also have a bit mask. It could be a bit mask 2D or 3D. And so like a bit mask 2D is a 1D buffer with like a wrapper that lets you engage with it as if it's 2D, and then, you know, we climb up from there. The only question is, so what do you call a bit mask? So if you have like a bit mask that's 3 dimensions, but you're trying to store multiple fields into each 3-dimensional coordinate. What is that, a bitmask 4D? Like, come on. Are you trying to team for Down to Jam? Probably not. I like doing that one dev army thing. Nothing personal. I'm actually not a team player. Kind of crazy. Not that crazy. But I'm definitely like an independent sports kind of person. You're not either? Yeah, okay. We'd make great teammates then. We'd get to the end of the jam and we'd have somewhere between 0 games and 2 games. We both had the same idea. I say that and then you immediately type like we each make 1 game of them together. Yeah. Like I said, somewhere between 0 and 2 games we would end up with. It's funny. You know what I want to disallow? I want to disallow anyone directly talking to the span in these things. I kind of want to make span private. I don't want to make you have to like engage with this thing through the functions, through the utility functions. And be specific about what you're trying to do. That'd be a pretty big change though, so we're not going to do that right now. I really do want my bitmask thing. I would maybe call a bit mask. I'd probably maybe call that a bit field. No, I guess it would just be a buffer 3D of a bit field. It would be not a bit mask. A bit mask to me implies that there's just 1 bit for each coordinate. Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to make a bit mask construct that wraps our buffers. I know I had one of these and I deleted it because I got annoyed with it. I got annoyed with having to write another construct, but I'm going to do it again. We're going to do it again. Should we start with read-write or read-only? I guess we should start with read-write. We're going to do it. Because, yeah, it's getting too awkward to try to fake it. So the constraints are going to be placed upon the component, not this thing. This is just a ref struct that gives us like a window into the span. But I do want, I guess I do want to be able to use all of this. Actually, what I want to do is I don't want to base this off the buffer 2D read-write. I want to base this off the buffer 3D read-write. It just happens to be mapping. Actually, I don't know what I want. Typical. Typical Dave. You'll make the game and I make the editor. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. No, Joel, you're only half following the stream. How are you solving the performance issue now? So the way what we are in the process of doing is we're breaking up the data about the block volumes into small bit masks that are 16 KB max. And the idea is that for the stuff that needs, for the data that needs to be prepared for the rendering we're back to just doing with custom draw calls on a canvas item. So we're doing a couple things. One is for the stuff that we think that would benefit from being pushed down to like a compute shader, like the really volumetric parallelizable stuff, that information that we need it very quickly. We're reducing the inputs to just these very small bit masks that will fit as UBOs, which is good. Not SSBOs, not the storage, bigger storage buffers, but the small uniform buffers, like a texture or whatever. And the other thing we're doing a few other things to handle performance. One is that we want to switch the canvas items that we're drawing to. We want to switch from this Z layer thing, which we do, because right now we have a layer for each Z layer from the camera's perspective. So like this is a layer, this is a layer, this is a layer. So this room, this 4x4x4 room has 10 layers associated with it, which is okay in that we're Z indexing everything correctly. It's not okay in that if this room changes, that's 10 canvas items that need to be redrawn. So what I want to switch to is that instead of this, I want each canvas item to just be an individual compartment, so that when stuff in a compartment changes, where it's more likely that we're able to just update a single canvas item. Or what would be even better, if we can't see that compartment, we don't even update it. Because the problem with this layer-based approach is like, you'll see one of these layers pretty much somewhere, you'll be seeing one of these layers. I love doing that little step. But yeah, that's, if you're half paying attention, you should be 3/4 of the way to understanding by now. That's funny. All right, so this is what we're gonna work on, is getting these, I think. I really didn't want to do this on stream, but this is where we're living here. So it's gonna be unmanaged. So the T value for the bitmask 3D is gonna be unmanaged. It's also gonna be an IBit field. So we're gonna be able to make some assumptions. So why don't you recognize, oh, I see. So we want to lay the groundwork for eventually being able to operate on smaller volumes. It'll probably round up to whatever the nearest power of 2 is. So it's like if the ship can fit in a bit field 32, we will fit it. If it doesn't, we'll just fit it in a bit field 64. We won't support anything bigger than 64 at the moment. It's a little more complicated once you go past 64. Eventually, I would like to support larger sizes, but 64 is good. Because again, we want that UBO. We want those small data structures. Because yeah, a lot of the simulation is fine just being thrown onto like a background thread and then just given a few frames to run. Most of the stuff is fine, but the stuff that's like impacting the rendering directly, that's the stuff that we need to find a faster way to prepare. And that's the kind of, I think that stuff is actually the best candidate for getting pushed to the GPU. Because we can still take a few frames to do it, which is great. The problem with trying to do the rendering directly in the compute shader is we don't have a few frames to do it. We need to do it every frame, which is part of the reason we ran into this like utilization issue and we were crashing. We were hogging up so much GPU that the encoder couldn't run. Arneo, you solved your bug. You should try to sleep. Nice, nice. Thanks for indulging you, talking about your own project. Oh, literally anytime. I'd love for people to share their projects as much as possible. We're actually reaching the endpoint here for today. I gotta get back to work. I gotta make sure I'm done working on time so I can go to this concert tonight. But we'll be back tomorrow. We'll still stream Thursday. We'll stream Friday. Nothing Saturday or Tuesday. But we got 2 more days in our stream week here. So we'll come back tomorrow. We'll keep working on whatever it is we do here. But yeah, I gotta run. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Appreciate everyone over on YouTube quietly lurking. We're gonna get back soon. Soon we're gonna get back to the halcyon days of like having a lot of visual stuff happening on the stream. We're gonna be like designing. Well, we're gonna actually be using this editor eventually, but at least by episode 512. Nix is our product manager, and Nix has set us a deadline of having this part of the project done by episode 512. So, you know, we're gonna do our best. But yeah. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I will see you all next time. Bye.
Maximum what?